does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! Back again today for more of the top 100 games of all time, at least judged by me. Back with Brandon.
Hello.
And we're going to be going from number 30 to 21, and then starting on the next
Holy
list.
crap! I actually
yeah.
get to start talking. I don't have 100 favorite board games, so.
But we are to the point now where it's like the creme de la creme. Like, I love these games. Last honorable mention that I have is Good Cop, Bad Cop from Overworld Games. Love it. Not on the list. Used to be probably in the top 10, 15.
It didn't even make top 100 this time? What happened? Why did it fall off? What happened?
Leaders of Euphoria, which is coming out any time now when this list comes out, it's better. It is better, period. Like, it fixes the problems that were in Good Cop, Bad Cop that I didn't even realize were in Good Cop, Bad Cop. Gets rid of player elimination. Outstanding. Get it when it comes out. Pure and simple, fantastic.
And Good Cop, Bad Cop was Bauer's Best. Wasn't that the first Bauer's Best?
Yeah, it was one of them.
All right,
so
here we
let's
go
on to number 30. Actually, one of the newest entries in my list, and the one that kicked Lord of the Rings, the LCG, off the list. And that is Arkham Horror, the card game. Solo or 2 players. Yeah, this is my bag. Completely cooperative, incredibly difficult, dripping with that Arkham Horror theme, which you either love or you don't love. If you don't love it, then go get a different LCG. It's got an LCG format, which means I know I'm never going to run out of content for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 10 years from now, I'm sure there's going to be like 50 things I don't own, which if I want to play, I can play.
Arkham Horror 2, the card game, and just like, whatever.
Yeah, and the best thing about this game is it took Lord of the Rings LCG, which is the only LCG that Fantasy Flight does that's cooperative, and just fixed it. Made it better, made it more streamlined, made it cleaner. It has fantastic rules. It has a fantastic appendix and a special rule booklet and a special glossary that makes learning it when you're first starting very, very nice and simple. Arkham Horror, the card game. Oh, can't say enough good things about this game. I hope it sells like things that sell a lot and gets a lot of expansions.
Do
Hot
good.
things.
Do better.
All right, going from Solo to not quite Solo. Zia,
this was
Legends
so much fun.
of a Drift System. And, you played this.
We played this once.
I played it way more than
All
that.
right.
I love this game. It is space exploration at its finest. And my favorite game of all time is a space exploration game. Spoilers. I'm not going to give the name.
Oh, no.
But this does space exploration better. Now, everything else it doesn't do as good. But this game, I mean, you're upgrading your ship, and you're upgrading your thrusters, and you're going through the galaxy, and you're exploring, and you're rolling dice. And the best thing about this game is the fact that it tries to recreate a video game and the fact that there are NPCs. There are pre-programmed, non-playable things going around. I mean, there's a cop that might try and catch you, and there's like just all sorts of various different stuff happening in the galaxy in addition to what you're doing. And I love this game. Also, cool miniatures and whatnot.
The only thing I remember about this was it was big. It was meaty.
No,
it is long. I mean, it says 1 to 3 hours on the back of the box. But what you said is awesome because you basically start out at the beginning and you've got nothing and you get upgrades and it's like, oh, now I can move 5 spaces instead of 4. Or you run into a meteor star and there's just cool things happening to you that you have to deal with. And it was neat. It was a neat, different game. I like this pick. This is a solid pick. This is a good game.
Yeah, I want to check out that expansion eventually as well.
All right.
Moving on to number 28. Still in shrink because my wife just got it for my birthday. That is 7 Wonders from Repos Production, Antoine Bauza, and one of those popular games out there.
More than 30 international awards. The box says so.
Yeah, they got 32. But yeah, it's just a fantastic drafting game. The expansions make it even better. I don't have the expansions. One day I will, hopefully. It's just a game I don't see myself ever getting rid of. And I also liked it at 2 and 3 players. I like it at the lower player counts.
Really?
I think it's best at the higher player counts, but it's still a really enjoyable game. I think the biggest fault a lot of people have is essentially it is solitaire. You're just dealing with the person on your left to right, but still fantastic Gateway Plus drafting game.
Gateway Plus for sure. It is a bear to teach. That is my one critique of this game. It is really difficult to teach. If you're like the one person who's played this and you sit down with 6 new players of 7 Wonders, teaching 7 Wonders is a bear. And it's not a hard game. Mm-hmm. It's simple. But I've had some nightmare situations teaching this game, so it's not one that makes it to the table a whole lot with new players. I will say that. So Gateway Plus is a good way to describe it. Holy crap, this thing's won a ton of awards. Wow. great game, good pick. It's just a bear to teach.
And I would say it's one of those games where if you're going to teach it, I would just play around.
Just play around, explaining what's going on, and then do the next stage, and drive on.
All right, number 27 from a game company I do not know because I forgot to look it up. That is Caverna. I think it's Mayfair Games or Lookout Games or something like that. Caverna is a work placement game on steroids.
It's like Agricola, right? But it's
more
different. Right.
It's more.
Okay.
So in Caverna, you are going cave exploring and building your house and farming.
Right.
But it's worker placement, and on your turn, you're going to have options on options on options on options on options on options on options of what you want to build, what you want to buy, what special abilities you want to purchase, what animals you want to get. It's just, it makes you your own boss.
And it was, I think I've seen it before, and it was a gigantic board if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not wrong. It looked like there was a ton going on. Do you find that it's easy to teach? Is that one that's like Gateway Plus, or is it more than that?
I've never had to teach it. It's definitely is not a Gateway or Gateway Plus game.
Okay.
Just because of the sheer number of options in the game.
Okay.
It reminds me a little bit of Elysium, which I talked about earlier, which at its core is a very simple game, but the game just poses options to you, especially at the higher player counts, where it's just like, there's like 30 things to pick here. I don't know what to pick. I'm new. I'm scared. But if you like lots of options in your games, Caverna, so good.
All right.
Number 26, also do not have, Alchemists from CGE, Czech Games, excellence. But have you played Alchemist?
Is this the one with the app on
Yes.
the phone? I have not. I've seen it.
It's worker placement, and you're going to be trying to brew spells, and you'll be able to test out your spells by using an app on your phone. And
That's cool.
It's kind of like worker placement meets Clue a little bit, because you're just trying to figure out the exact ingredients by trial and error. So I guess it's not kind of like Clue. I love this game.
It's not like Clue at all. I don't know.
It's got really fun worker placement aspect. It uses the app really well. It's nice. It's clean. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of paths to victory. Just a huge fan of this game. Alchemist from CGE.
Definitely on my radar. Totally wanted to try it. Mostly because of the phone app integration thing. That kind of, to me, feels like something that going forward in board gaming is going to happen more and more and more. Where it's like, you pull up a thing and you draw a card and it says, hit the button on your phone and it does something at random or whatever. I think that's the wave of the future, in my opinion.
See, I don't think so. I think cell phones are a fad.
Yeah, they're going away.
They're going away.
Right, you're right. We're going to go back to rotary style. Those were clearly superior.
Yeah. Telegraphs.
Smoke signals. Semaphore. All right.
Number 25, and what was number 1 on the Board Game Geek list all time.
Love it.
For a while, was Puerto Rico from Rio Grande Games. And, I go through bits where I'm like, man, I don't like Puerto Rico because there's an optimal move at every single turn.
There
it's
is.
Like, if you don't make the optimal move, other people might be ticked off at you, which is not ideal. But then I go back to it, and I'm just like, man, this is such a well-designed game. It's so much fun. I enjoy it every time I play. It's got a really, really crappy mobile app or iOS app, which I still play. But man, I just love the game itself. And one of these days, I want to get the expansion, which just adds new buildings. It's just like 4 or 5 new buildings, which I think would be great. No luck whatsoever in this game, too, which is obviously really cool as well. Love Puerto Rico.
This is a little bit heavier than your standard game. I think it's not one where you can sit down and be like, well, this is how it works and go. But I own this, and I really stinking enjoy it. It's a little longer, so you're looking at probably about an hour, 2-hour game time-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like about this is the mechanic where you pick your role, and then everybody is the same role. I really dig that sort of mechanic in the game. You get the bonus or whatever from picking it, but then everybody else has to do the same thing. And that, to me, is super cool.
And the order you do it in is huge.
Yeah, and from what I understand, is this a solved game? Is that what I remember correctly? Or is this, you said optimum moves every time, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, there is one strategy that it's like, that's the strategy.
That's what I thought.
And I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I've never looked it up, but,
And like, if I sat down with somebody and they did that, I would be like, I hate you forever.
Yeah, thanks.
Like,
fun.
Why are you doing this? Just play. Just have a good time, and you won't have a problem. But good pick. I love Puerto Rico.
All right, number 24, one I'm sure you love as well. don't mess with Cthulhu.
Is
from
this
Indie
the highest
Broadcast.
party game on the list? Because
No.
it should be.
I know what it is.
Oh,
Social deduction, 4 to 6 players. It plays more if you have the expansions, which I do recommend getting. And it is ridiculously simple. And my favorite thing about this very light social deduction game is this is the only game that I could think of, aside from maybe Sheriff of Nottingham, which isn't social deduction, where it's in your best bet to lie even if you are a good guy.
Yep.
You can tell the truth, you can lie, and at
But
some
it's
points...
better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of. This is so simple. You get rocks, and then the monsters or whatever, the Cthulhu's, and
Cthulhu
also
theme.
yeah, super Cthulhu theme. So I mean, if that's not your deal, obviously it says
Based it on.
Cthulhu. But you brought this over. We had like 8 people the first time you brought this over. Set it out in front of people, explained the rules in a minute, and said this is what you do, and proceeded to have a fantastic time. Just yelling and screaming at each other, and you're like, "Oh, you're evil! Oh, you're bad!" I mean, it's awesome. It's
No player elimination.
fantastic. It's so good, fast, easy, quick. This is a great game. Fantastic. Get it. Go right now. Stop what you're doing. Go get this.
And in case you're wondering, it actually works really well at 4 players, which
Does it?
very
That's
difficult
amazing.
task in social deduction.
That's amazing.
All right,
Solid
number
game. I need to get that.
23, we have Boomtown from Face to Face Games and from, I believe, Rio Grande republished it.
Spoilers. On my list.
This game has kind of faded away in time. Like, you don't hear anybody talk about it. I know it's on Z Garcia's Top 100.
Is it?
But other than that, I don't
That's
hear
great.
anybody talking about it. I know there's a space reprint that came out a while ago, but it's this fantastic auctioning game where you are going to be building a bustling Wild West town out there. And there's special ability cards you'll be bidding on, but it has a really ingenious auction system. This is from Bruno Cathallo and Bruno Faduti, obviously the Brunos. But it's got this cool betting mechanism where you're always going to have a card out there. You are guaranteed to get a card out there. But if you get the first pick, you're going to pay the money, but you don't pay the money to the bank. You actually pay the money to the person who gets the last card. And they get half that money. Then the next person gets half that money. The next person gets half that money. So if you bid crazy high amounts,
You're giving your opponents money.
yes, and the money is the victory points in the game, and there's dice rolling. The dice rolling can be interesting because different minds are going to produce on different numbers, and this is one of those games that, I wish there was just an expansion with more cards, more everything. I love this game.
This is another one that you broke out and you hadn't played it in like a year or something, and you're like, hey, let's play this. I stinking love this. This is one we played, and I walked out of here and bought it immediately. It was one that I wanted to have. Spoilers, it's going to be on my list. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. But I just love how easy it is. I love the bidding. I love how the money system works, like you said, where you're paying down. I'm terrible at it. This is another game. That's the thing to me, though, where I can get a board game that I am really bad at, but still will be like, let's play Boomtown. That's a good board game to me. That's a great board game to me. Fantastic. Go get this. That's awesome. It's on my list. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, go find that one. Number 22 from last year, Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition for Fantasy Flight Games. And if you ask me what the game that I want most out of every other game on the planet, this would probably be the number one on my list.
Because you don't own it.
Because I do not own it, and it's just, it integrates with your iPad, and it just tells a very thematic story. And I enjoyed the original Mansions of Madness, but it was just, it was a beast to set up, and it was a burden, and if the game master screwed up one thing, it was just game over. Just completely game over. You just wasted 2 hours of your life. But this one has everything pre-set up, dripping with theme, an interesting story. Love Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. This is one I want to get for solo and cooperative.
So I'm a beta tester for Fantasy Flight Games. I think I can say that outside the NDA. I don't know. Am I allowed to? But we beta tested this. So we tested it before. If I'm not allowed to say that, Fantasy Flight, please don't send your goons after me.
We did. I remember that.
Okay. And I didn't really care for it in the beta edition, but I've heard that since it came out, they fixed sort of all the issues that were in the beta. So this is one that's on my list for Origins. I am actually going to be playing this, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, well, Roger gave them a lot of possible fixes.
Okay. Roger.
Roger.
That's me? Is that
Protecting identity.
Oh, yeah. I haven't said my name on this thing like 18 times.
But yeah, great game. Highly recommend.
It's good.
My number
It's good.
22. But Last game in the 20s, number 21, Small World, Days of Wonder. This is another Gateway Plus game.
Yep.
In it, you are going to have a creature, you're going to have a race, a species and a race, and those are always going to be changing and intermingling, so you're going to have two completely different special abilities. They're just going to be mushed together, and you're going to be, it's a very simple area control game.
Yep.
Very deterministic combat for the most part, even though there's a really cool dice rolling mechanism where you can kind of push your luck. And,
reinforcements, yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of those games where all the expansions, I'd recommend all the expansions, getting all the different special abilities, mush them together. Really enjoy this one. And just a game that I don't own, but eventually I'm going to own it because it's fantastic.
It's another solid pick. Gateway Plus is awesome. I love where you can just get like flying dwarves, which is super ridiculous. And you're like, what? Flying dwarves? It doesn't make any sense. But you don't care. And that's what's great about it. And this is another one that I am terrible at. I'm really not good at it. And yet I would, if you said let's play Small World, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. Totally. We're getting into top 20, man. I'm getting all hot and bothered.
I will say though, Small World Underground, I'm not a fan of that one. It's okay, but just not a fan of that one.
All right, YouTube, we're going into top 20. Stay tuned. Thanks for your time.
Boom.